In this second video, we will detail the fretting hand, or left hand for most of you pickers out there, right hand for me, for my break to Bluegrass Breakdown. As in video 1 we dealt with the picking hand and its various roll patterns and some unconventional little things. We will return in this video and talk about some of the things that you'll see on the fingerboard with regard to this song. But first, let's get in tune our 4th strings to D. First string to D. Third string to G. Fifth string to G. And the feisty B string. Looks like we're in tune. I will play through the exposition of the tune and slow down and then work over any little tidbits and things that may come in between. So here we go on Bluegrass Breakdown, my own version. And slowed down, it would sound something like this. Now, as you can see, the song began with that pinch, which was detailed in the first video. And when I approached this various break, I was originally going to do, you know, melodic kind of thing for the opening G run, which Earl used that very characteristic hammer on that Bill Monroe ended up kind of imitating on the mandolin. And I came back to it and thought, well, maybe I should just use the Rocky Mountain Breakdown roll and just try to do something new with it. And so what I ended up doing was doing this chromatic 2 to 3, 1 to 2, and open to 1. I started to do that little run, and so slowed down it would sound like this. Even slower. Pay special attention to that little thing there at the end of the last hammer-on. Notice I hammered most of the time with my middle finger. I think I went and did the index just because I was playing fast, but I would recommend that you try to hammer on from 0 to 1 on the second string with your ring, just because it kind of gives a certain tone. At least I noticed the tone. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing pull-offs with the index finger. I wouldn't mind doing pull-off, because you actually have more leverage there since it's close, but to do a hammer-on, you need a space off the fingerboard to get leverage, and the higher you get and come down, usually the fatter and bigger it sounds. And with this finger down here, you're posting on the apex there of the neck, and typically you're not going to get as much leverage as you would if you really, you know, came in there and thwacked it with your finger. And so I would recommend coming down and just descending and then just putting this finger back there and the second thing to pay attention to with that last hammer-on is after you're hammering on, there was an open B string there, not the typical modal position that you see fretting the C and B flat, like that. So it doesn't sound like this. You don't hear that C to B flat, you hear an open B natural to B flat. Because and really there's a musical reason behind this. You've got a chromatic thing going on here. You want that chromatic dissonance between the B flat and the B natural, and so do not fret the C note after you hammer on twice. Do not keep your finger there even if you use the index. That's another reason, by the way, why I use my middle, because there's no way you can fret that like that. You have to go this way. And so just to remind myself to not hold that melodic position, I hammer on with my ring on my index, my middle, and it forces me to jump back down and leave the B string open, so keep that in mind. Moving on into the F chord, you have this slide reminiscent of the Jim Mills kind of J.D. Crowe-esque, explosive, that kind of thing. And so make sure that that's good and loud. And I decided to grab the F7 note, the E flat, just because it sounds so cool to use the first fret of the banjo on the 4th string. I mean, who goes down there? That just gets, you know, using more of the low end of the fingerboard, which, you know, I think is cool to hear deep sounds coming out of the banjo. I was never one for the Ralph Stanley some of you are probably going to be emailing me and telling me that you actually wish me I like that sound, but I like the... I love the fat sound coming out of the banjo, I always have. And remember, back to the F chord lick. That's the first way I played it. I think the second way I played it was like this. Kind of a Bill Emerson thing thrown in there, which works since there's a lot of chromaticism in this song, or this particular break on this song that I invented out of my own head and still have enough wood left to build a fire with. And just remember, after you're coming off of those chromatic hammer-ons, there's a little tag there on the G note, anticipation or syncopation. Hammer-on the second string. You can't see it because my middle finger's blocking it. See if I can get in there. Oh, it's not gonna. There we go. And you're forced to use the index finger there, so yeah, that's a great time to kind of train yourself, if you haven't already yet, to use the index and hammer on a string while you're fretting another one. That's a useful feature to have. And just slide on the 4th string, that little syncopation on the G string first. Pinch. And I usually give that a little choke. Not too much, because then you can kind of get a distorted tone and you lose. It also wrecks your speed in playing fast. And that little modal break helps you get back into the F chord, forward, backward roll. So basically, after the 2 F chords, you can really just add any G fill you want. I happen to do... And that was the way I closed the first time I did the A section. And right after you do that tag, then you do this big rake on all 5 strings, and you're hammering on from 2 to 3 on the 2nd string. And that's the same thing as before. The main difference is, instead of using a pinch to get in on the song, you're using this rake. And so, and leaving the A section number 1 on that slide. And there's really, you can put that rake in any particular rhythmic situation that you want. I did it in between beats. You can do it on the beat. Still works. So in context of the song, coming out of the last F chord in A section 1, from there, the A section is repeated again the second time, and the same way through. The main difference really is the rake that opens it up the second time. And from there, you can just do more G fill after the last F chord, same as before, maybe change it up a little bit. Series of pinches, you go into the high break for the B section. Now the B section, as I said, begins with those pinches coming out of the fill. And right there, you're going to want to get your index finger ready to slide up to the F position B flat chord, and only note 2 notes of this. 2nd string 6th fret, 1st string 8th fret. You don't need to hold the whole thing because you're going to be hammering on and doing some other things with the extra fingers. And so coming out of the pinch, I usually start on somewhere from 2 to 1 just to get enough, you know, enough room. You don't want to start this close. That sounds a little strange. You want to go, you want to have enough distance there. I recommend sliding a little longer distance. And what you're going to do here is kind of a unorthodox position here. You're not going to actually initially play the B flat, the F, and the B flat note. The index is actually, you're going to be ghosting it, you're going to be sliding up on it, but the note that's played on 1 that opens the B section is going to be a G note, string 2, fret 8. So you're going to be getting this E flat chord, the B flat and G part of the E flat chord, the bar. And you're going to be noting 2 notes of that. And in the meantime, while you're going to be noting this and playing this following the pinches, your index is going to still be fretting the 2nd string. So you're fretting it at 2 places, 6 and 8. So when you slide from the pinches, I'll do it as slow as I can. This is what it's going to look like. Give you a little better look here. That's what it's going to look like. You're going to be sliding up on the 2nd string after the pinches. And the time that it takes you to get from 2 or 3 to 6, you're going to get these 2 fingers ready right here and plant them to play the G and the B flat. For half of the Foggy Mountain Breakdown roll. Notice I removed it and went to the F note. Then hammering on to the F sharp chord. Then to the G. I didn't go back to the D position G because I wanted to get rid of that B tone. I wanted to get a power chord. Because this song is more along the lines of modal, chromatic, and power chord kinds of things, not the happy... Not that happy, very Bury Me Beneath the Willows sound. This is more of the... You know, the real butt-kicking band that you want to hear. And but to recap that tricky little section, pinches, entering the B part, slide, and then get ready. So you're sliding from 2 or 3 all the way to 6. And while that's happening, you're getting your pinky and your ring ready and going up here to fret E flat. So you kind of got a shift between E flat, B flat, F sharp, G. Just kind of a quick little thing there. I'll play it as slow as I can. Notice there's a shift between E flat and B flat. The last half of that Foggy Mountain Breakdown roll there, that's the first half, you're on E flat. The second half, you're on B flat. Then the second Foggy Mountain Breakdown roll, you're doing F sharp. C major there, an interesting shift. And then after you're done with that little interlude from on the F position G, you're going to slide up and hit a suspended 4 C chord, C4 suspended, to C major, C4 suspended to C major. The F tone is a suspended 4th in the triad. And so from G, fifth string there. It's all 3 2 1 3 2 1 3 2 1 3 2 1. So notice I did a little in and backward roll there. I didn't go and end it on the fifth string. You have to go back to the second string when you're finishing those two stacked Foggy Mountain Breakdown rolls, because the fifth string is going to prevent you from jumping and hitting the F tone. I'll deal with more of that, of course, I did in video 1. But starting again the G chord. So you go from C suspended 4, C major, E flat, G minor. That's the chord progression there. So coming off of that G, then into the C chord again, you're going to do pinches. Open, it would be sound like this. And so entering fretted, you'd be on the G minor, raise it 2 frets to C minor, then back to E flat to G major, the D position G. And all throughout this, you're going to be fretting half of the chord to allow you to just kind of maneuver more quickly, since the song is played fast. And slide on your nails. Remember to slide on your nails. It's a little hard. It's harder to curl your finger inwards like that. But it results in better tone, and we're always going for better tone here. So back to the second time the C chord is played in the B section. The pinches. And the song is of course closed out by this little chromatic lick. That lick right there . That's what that lick is right there. And you can do that lick several ways. You can fret it with your thumb, you can reach up, and some of you, I know Tony Trishka, I think, frets like this on some things. And you can also actually replace where the middle finger would be with the ring and reach up and fret like that. A friend of mine, I know, does his melodic licks with which fret the fifth string like this. Play that lick once more as slow as I can. And in context of the song, it would sound like this. Following that pinch on the C chord, the final C chord before the end of the tune, or the break. E flat, G major, and that is my break to Bluegrass Breakdown. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments or email me. Send me a message via my YouTube and I'll get back to you. And happy picking!